Oh boy, do we have a humdinger of a doozy for you today. If you are an American and you have a social security number, you're gonna want to watch this video.
Welcome to Tech Topics brought to you by Cybervenger. We help keep small businesses stay protected and compliant with cutting-edge cybersecurity and IT solutions.
Okay, so I'm trying to piece together everything that's happened. This is brand new news, so I don't have a ton of information, but I can answer who, what, why, and where, and when. What basically happened is a massive breach occurred that includes 2.7 billion records of personal data on virtually every American and then some. It includes social security numbers. Now, as you may be aware, there's not 2.7 billion Americans. There's only about 330 million of us. So this information contains more than just social security numbers. We'll talk about that in a minute. So let's start with who the players are here. So there's USDoD. This has nothing to do with the Department of Defense. This is a cyber criminal group that calls themselves that for some reason. They're the ones who perpetrated this attack, and they took this information, published it online, or offered to sell it online. They put an advertisement online saying, hey, we got all this information, highest bidder. Then there's the National Public Data Company. They are a they're not a public company. They're not government. They are a private business, private enterprise, and they are responsible for doing background checks. And this is where the 2.7 billion records come from. So they have not only things like your social security number, name, and address, but they have things like vehicles you've registered, property you've owned or been associated with. If you ever go online and you try to do something that requires a background check, and they ask you things like, list which one of these vehicles have you owned, or which property have you been associated with, and how do they even know that information? These guys, National Public Data, they have all this data compiled. They've compiled quite a bit of data, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Schubert, Jonquier, and Colby, I maybe butchered that name. They're a law firm that has been forming a class action suit on behalf of all of us to sue NPD for the breach of our data. And then there is VX Underground. They're a cybersecurity research group that reported the breach and then verified the authenticity of the stolen data. So when USDoD, the bad guys, published this data, they put like samples and stuff, and then these guys, VX Underground, researched to make sure it's real threat. It's a credible threat. They did in fact get this data. So yeah, we do have this. Now the breach, going on to when the breach happened in April of this year, and then by June 1st is when VX Underground verified that it's legit and all that. There is a gentleman by the name of Chris Hoffman who was alerted of the theft protection by his theft protection service about the breach happened, and that's who got the lawsuit going in conjunction with Schubert, Jonquier, and Colby. So yeah, there are multiple lawsuits going against this company. I can't imagine how they'd survive. I would say if you own stock in NPD, I would sell it right away. I don't even know if it's a publicly traded company, but I'm still trying to find out more details. I just want to get this out to the people right away. This is huge. I mean, this is all kinds of information. This is every piece of information you would ever need to fully verify someone's identity, and therefore, every piece of information you would ever need to fully steal somebody's identity. I don't know how, as a society, we're going to recover from this in terms of doing identity verification the way we've been doing it. We really need to change our entire system. That drags me into a little bit of politics. That I try to keep my channel not political. This is a cybersecurity channel. We talk about cybersecurity and how it affects business and personal lives and things like that. But I can't help but point out that all this data exists and can be abused a little too easily. All you need is a piece of information. Once that piece of information is out there, it's gone forever. It's not like an account where you have to sign in and then you can initiate particular actions and then you can cut those actions off. The system needs to change. And I'm not even entirely sure how, but it's definitely a scenario where our way of doing credit, our way of verifying people's identity is screaming along headfirst into a brick wall. In the short term, what can you do is get like LifeLock or some other credit monitoring system, lock your credit. The nice thing about locking your credit is then you have a password to hang on to authorize any loans or things like that in your name. And you can't afford to lose that password, though. I mean, it's really important. Password management is always the bane of end users, and so it's a little dangerous. It's really, really hard to get your credit unfrozen if you lose that password. So get that password, put it in a safe in your house, don't write down what it is so that the bad guys can't figure it out. They're breaking or something. And then maybe get a sealed envelope and stick it in a safety deposit box, or bring it to a trusted relative in another state. So if your house burns down, you still have access to that password. Really think about that. But lock your credit. But the other thing, too, is this is not just information on Americans. This is Europeans, United Kingdom, people in Canada. I'm not even sure who else, but it's, the West largely. That's why, a part of why it's 2.7 billion records, or 2.9 from according to other sources. It's a huge treasure trove of data for the bad guys. And I'm really concerned about what happens with this information ends up in Russian hands or China's hands. The ability to manipulate and damage our economy is staggering. I think a lot of modern hacks today are more and more state-sponsored. I think cybersecurity is becoming more political than financial. I've been around the industry enough where cybersecurity was basically young punks committing pranks on people, or maybe knocking down a company that pissed them off or something like that. It's really evolved. It's gone from that to common criminals looking for a quick buck, to organized criminals looking to make real money, to state-sponsored actors looking to affect large-scale political change. And I think that really is the future of cybersecurity. And with a treasure trove of data like this, the political power that comes with it is probably not fully well understood by any of us. And I think we're going to be feeling the pain of this for decades to come. And I'm not sure what else to comment on this at the moment, but definitely stay tuned for more information. I'm going to be doing a lot of research on this one. I want to find out exactly what happened to this data, who has it, does anybody have any possible solutions? But be aware of, monitor your credit, check if you're on Social Security, make sure you know where your checks are going. Anything. This information could be used for IRS tax refunds. For buying property, for taking out loans, all kinds of stuff. Just be vigilant, stay alert, and hopefully we'll have some more good, useful, more specific tips to this breach in coming videos. So stay tuned. I'll get more information when I can. This is just kind of a brand new, breaking news sort of video, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thanks for watching. We hope this video has provided valuable information to you. Be sure to share this video with other small business owners to spread the word about the importance of cybersecurity. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this. If you want more information about cybersecurity, visit us at www.cybervenger.com.